right. 에픽에 그 책, 네. 존 로인 린치, The Amazing Age of John Roy Lynch. John Roy Lynch had an Irish father and an Ethel enslaved mother. 엄마는 노예였구나. 혼혈아였구나. By the role of the South before the Civil War, that made John Roy and his brother half Irish and all slave. His father lacked the power to change the law. He was just overseer, a higher hand. Besides, while he may have robbed these slaves, he most likely took the whip to others. But Pat- Patrick, Patrick Lynch, it was said, had a plan to liberate uh, gather, gathering and their children. The law would allow him to buy them. They would belong to him, but he could live, let them live as if they were free. John Roy was just a toddler in 1849 when his father took sick and died. Had Lynch left all he had, including his unfinished plan to a friend named Deal. But Deal did not liberate Catherine, nor John Roy, nor William. Deal kept them enslaved and sold them to new owner. John Roy might have been free by the time he was 2, but he was not. Precious time year would be freedom were lost. John Roy's new owner, Mr. David, did not send him out into the hot Louisiana cotton field. Instead, Mr. David kept John Roy at his big home across the Mississippi River in the city of Nat- Natchez. His job was to pay Mrs. Davis saved her ice water from the door of her carriage and shield the fire from her table. She must have thought he would grateful for the privilege. In Sunday school, John Roy's ear heard more than they are. Moses David twisted the scripture to encourage obe- obe- obedience to her and her husband when they sang to serve The present goal means according to fulfill all my and all my power. I engage to do my master will, master's will. It was clear which master Mrs. David had in mind. Mrs. David said she could not abide, uh, abide, abide telling lies. She would boast of her own sister who claimed never to have lied. What do you think of that? Mr. David chatted John Roy one day. I think she told a lie when she said that. He replied, full of rage and spite and hurt. Mrs. David vanished John Roy from the big house on Homotstal Street. Homotstal Street. She sent him across the river to Tacony Plantation to hard river and swamp fever aimed, amid the cotton ball. She was not alone in racing and spite and hurt and racing out. The reader of the South read the same way to the election of President Abraham Lincoln, who was opposed to slavery. They quit the United States and formed their own country. The Civil War had come. Mr. David and Arthur in gray uniform fought for their freedom too. Danny John Roy his freedom. Maternal in blue battle just to preserve the uniform. Then the strengthened the Union. President Lincoln declared that the slave would be free. But John Roy threw 물 끓는 거 좀 봐라 했더니 아무도 안 본다 이런다 진짜. 너무 좀 꿀도 좀 가져야 되니. 내가 바꿨어. 넘쳐서 날려고. 나중에 다시 이렇게 날렸어. John Roy Tom emas- emancipation came the summer he turned 16. It did not come from the president's pen or even from the arrival of 200 blue-clad men on horseback. It came instead when he sold a chicken for a dying to a Yaqui soldier, and both
첫 번째 그
bought
앞에서 성별한 첫 번째 거.
himself a boat right across the river back
어,
to
어.
the chest. Less elsewhere,
뭔지
elsewhere,
알겠다. 머리통이 뭐
the words
그
rising.
먹고
Here
NPC 좀 들을 수
for
있나?
John Lynch, it was the beginning
어,
of an
크고
amazing
거기
project.
또
First,
크고
he found a job. The quota
있잖아. 그거
he earned in 1 month as a worker wasn't much, but it was $4 more than he'd earned before. It was a start. Searching for more satisfying work, he went from waiter to cook.
네, 먹어준다.
The freedom to make such a
아니,
move,
받았습니다.
then from cook to better paid pantryman on board the Altamont, a Union transport steamer. That's all. Result. A size, a sensation, a cute. Result Lincoln Shortland. It was on the Altamont just after the war and that John Roy heard the news. President Lincoln was dead. John Roy and the white soldier were unit on uh, unity, unity with the bone, united with the wet cheek, united with the broken heart. When the Altamont chunk, chunked away, taking it crew home to the North, John Roy could have gone alone. He had the choice to stay or go, and he chose to stay. The chance was his home. Hello, hello, Palmer slave. That rebelled in the promise of free family, place, free labor, rent, education. John Roy wanted to be part of that. Freedom, however, soon Hansor, Mississippi white, passed the law to make Mississippi black into slavery under different name. African peace, bankrupt, convict. Under those laws, the fines and jail time were harshed for black who treated white as equal, and harsher still for white who treated black the same. And sometimes hate peered white did out penalties, dealt out penalties far worse than what the law called for. In too many ways, this new world of black and white was just like the old one, but in another new world of black and white photograph. John Roy found opportunity and certain he became a messenger for a local, and he soon took on more responsibility trusted to develop the photograph. John Roy continued to develop himself. He took note of every detail of operating the shop. Because the shop owner had John Roy Ritchie, he didn't need anyone else. By 19, John Roy was running the place by himself. Across the alley behind the shop sat a public school for white children, close enough for John Roy to see the blackboards and hear the teacher through the window. When the shop was quiet, John Roy went to class without setting foot outside. At night school taught by Northerner, John Roy learned to compose rather simple efforts than elegant and soaring. He read in newspaper about how unhappy the victorious North was with the stunt freedom in the South. John Roy knew the change would be coming to Mississippi. When those changes came in 1867, it meant black men would be able to vote. Not John Roy, though he was still too young. All the same, he got involved in the latest Republican Club, making speeches and stirring up support for a new Mississippi Constitution. And he began buying land. It hadn't been so long since John Roy had been forced to work someone else's land, but now he owned a piece of this earth for himself. John Roy bought more and more, including some property of his own on Homestead Street. In 1868, the U.S. government appointed a young Yankee general as governor of Mississippi. The white who had been in charge with swept out of office by river and by railroad. John Roy traveled to Jackson to hand Governor Ames a list of needs to fill uh, position. This position in that has John Roy spoke grandly of each man's merit. merit. The governor added another name to the list, John Ritchie, Justice of the Peace. Justice, peace. Black people saw reason to believe that these were now val- uh, valuable to them. Just 21, John Roy doubted that he could meet all those expectations, but he dove in and ran the role as fast as he could. He settled the disputes between servant and employer. He corrected the white who assured that the rules still allowed them to mistreat black people. He is a young couple in matrimony, then have to patch things up for those same pair. And if the husband mistakenly thought that John Roy could send them to prison if they didn't shave off, he let them keep right their own thinking that when election day came in just a few months' time, the people were not just elected generally to the Mississippi House of Representatives to help Governor Garber, Garber the whole state. He gained the power to change the law. Here and there around the street, whites tried to bully black voters away from the poll through whippings and beating and street. They didn't succeed, but they didn't give up either. Clearly, there was work to do, and John Boy worked to make freedom right for himself truly free, not just in name alone, but for pleasant, fully educated citizen. Mississippi people as a whole were fully educated. The state's sorely needed the new school for black and white alike. But who would pay for those schools, and what would happen to the cotton with the field hand in a classroom? The people elected the readers to answer those questions, and those readers elected John Roy to read them. As Speaker of the House, John Roy was only 24 years old, and he was still on the rise. In 1872, voted all the way up to the Alabama border and down to the Gulf of Mexico, elected him to the United States House of Representatives. It took several days for him to travel to Washington, D.C. The 10 years since he'd been a teenage slave on Hackney Plantation had gone by almost as fast, too fast for some. U.S. Congressman or not, a black man could still find himself buried from the Payne Hotel. But that wasn't the worst of it, not by far. Black home, white terrorists burned black school and black church. They armed themselves on election day to keep black away. They even community murder. In a way, the Civil War wasn't uh, barely over. The battling had not stopped, but white Northerners had grown weary, and the United and the U.S. government wavered hard on times came to the north, overshadowing injustice in the south. The descent people of Mississippi were not outnumbered, but they were outgrown and on their own. John Boy head on will not be silence. This was not who America was, he said. Not who he, who she should be. Not what she must become. On the floor of the United States House of Representatives, this half Irish or American democracy, democratically elected former slaves spoke this word. When every man, woman, and children came here and knew that his, her, and their rights are fully protected by the strong arm of a generous and grateful republic, then we can all truthfully say that this beautiful land of ours, over which the star spangled banner so trumpetly waves, is in true and impact the land of the free and the home of the brave. If John Lawrence had lived 100 years, and he nearly did, he would not have seen that come to pass. The years following his speech were filled with more disappointments as whites continued to push back against the freedom that black had gained. But John Roy never forgot that period of reconstruction after the war had been an age of amazing promise and potential, and he insisted that others remembered this too, to believe that the role of this land could bring about justice. He continued to believe that the people of this land could bring about peace. 이거 너무 작아. 글자가. 연역인데 이 연역 너무 작아서 읽을 수가 없어. 누가 몇 부 걸렸지? 이 책이 맨 첫 부분에 보면은 몇 분만 읽어야 된다고 적혀있냐면은 30분만 읽어야 된다고 적혀있는데 리밋이 30분 비슷한 거 같아. 우리 남편 옆 모습이 보이네. 히히.